Yep. Welcome back to the Blue Room. On this episode of How I Mixed It, I'm gonna be going through She's Saying, but the vocal part, the vocal section, what I did with the vocals, how I got it to sound, how it sounds. Right? Before we go along, or before we jump any further, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so when I upload music and videos of how I'm making the music, you can get a notification. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's jump into this. So my lead is,
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say.
right? So that's to get that sound. Yeah. I have Waves tune. Yeah. C is the key. Minor pentatonic. Because I made the beat, the progression and everything about the beat, I know it in and out. So the scale is minor pentatonic. Right? I tuned halfway, 50-50. My note transition is a bit fast, or it's on the faster side, so it doesn't wobble and do all that funniness. Speed is fast, but if you, for my voice, this and that, it catches. This could have been a bit lower, but anyways. So yeah, it's Waves tune. Then let me do everything. I'll do this. I'll do it with the lead vocal and you get the basic idea. So, bypassing Waves tune.
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect. I don't want you to need me.
So this is my raw vocal.
And I don't want you to want me neither, but you know, gotta have a special time.
Right? So now,
I can make it better if I last forever.
Waves.
You just call me perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you.
Balanced out a little bit.
But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last forever. Living a life of pleasure, visions up.
Then I'm following with Nectar. Right? Now on Nectar, I'm doing the pitch, I'm using quite a bit. Normally, it would be doing like 1 or whatever, but 1.2, 1.2 on pitch, clarity 1, DSN 1, dynamics 1.2, tone 1.2, space 1.2. So that sounds like this.
I can make it better if I last forever.
Bypassed.
You just call me perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last.
Right? Next, I have this channel strip. So, on my channel strip, I select the male vocal preset. I have all these other stuff, but I'm mixing my voice and male vocal. Bam. Volume, filter, dynamics, EQ. So I turn all of these things on. Right? For my EQ, I cut the low end. I cut everything up on the 206, and I'm cutting everything above 14.6 kilohertz. Right? So that's the low end, high end. You can see my mids, my high mids, my high mid frequency, my high frequency, high mid frequency, low frequency. Basically, The male vocal preset does this bit because most males, your vocals here somewhere. And so all I'm doing is I'm cutting a bit of the low end and bam bam bam, shaping it a bit more. Yeah. The side chain, I'm going cutting everything on the side chain below 125. Right, boom. And it's looking for like the source and bam bam. Do I want it? So I'm catching, it's detecting peaks, catching certain little bits to do the peaks, and this is all the same. Filter type, filter frequency, and source. Internal, catch the peaks. Bam bam bam. Yeah. You have your in and out control, but basically when you listen to it, if I bypass it,
I can make it better if I last
right?
forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have special times to get something that gon' last forever. Living a life.
You should be able to hear the difference. So basically I've used three plugins. I've toned the first one, shape, put in place a bit. The second one I'm shaping a bit, pulling more in place. And then I have Avox. So
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have special times to get something that.
yeah, threshold 5.8. The gain I pull down to 2. I don't know, or yeah, I do know. This, most people, they will have the gain ceiling at 1. What I'm finding is whenever I'm doing anything to do with compressing, I always have the ceiling at 2, because at certain points further down the line, I'm going to be compressing again, gluing everything together. And at those further points is where I'll have the ceiling at 1. But for all the other points, I'm da-da-da. Right. So, if you look, it's more or less how the majority of lead vocal, backing vocal, lead vocal, it says double, but it's actually the chorus. And then the backing vocal for the chorus, and a harmonic part for the chorus. Then a spice part, which is like another harmony part. When we go through this, you probably listen to this song, but you probably haven't heard clearly how much different little parts is going on. Right, boom. So the next thing I have, the sends. You have a lead vocal, bus, which is this. So again, so what is happening is, even though on this channel I have this channel strip and I'm side chaining on it and everything, I have a bus where this bus is a side chain for all the lead vocals. So what I'm doing, I'm making it pop more. So again, on this bus send, vocal bus, you have the male vocal, I'm chopping again, da da da, but the chops are different. It's what I'm cutting out on this part that is different. So on the low frequency I'm cutting more or less the same, but the high frequency I'm cutting more. So this is not going to be as forward as the original. The double is going to be a bit more in the back. This is a side chain, or a side chain. Bam. For saturation, I use the sand sans amp, right? So I'm not using tape saturation or whatever on this. I'm using this, and anyone, if you've tried using the PSA one on your vocals, then you know what I'm talking about. DS in, S be gone, preset, pull it down, threshold, range, shape the type of curve that you want to use, the mode, do you want to split it, do you want to da da da, and then your frequency. And this you listen. Yeah. So if I play,
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't.
when I isolate this, you can just basically listen to the S's, how harsh or whatever, and still shape it. Finally, compress. Actually, no, it's not that one. It's this. Yeah. And it's 10, 15, C1. Right? So when it comes together, mute, sounds like this.
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last forever. Living a life of pleasure, visions of treasure, living for the net.
Right? And you should be able to hear, well, you're hearing. So the lead vocal that I was just playing, all the ad-libs and everything else is turned off. So every time I was bringing in the lead vocal bus, this is why it sounds like there's like an ad-lib. Because what I'm doing is I'm turning off, turning on, turning on. So where it sounds like there's the ad-lib, this is what the normal verse is going to sound like. My next send is a plate reverb for the vocals. And that is this. Reverb, plate, medium, play around with your diffusion, delay, pre-delay, high frequency. You basically shape it. Then EQ, everything under 182, cut the low end. Everything above 1166, I cut the high end. I didn't do any dips or anything. Bam. DS, that again, S is be gone. My settings, threshold 23.1, range 18.2, bam bam bam, shape it up. Then do a bit of compression to make sure my vocal plate hits back how it's supposed to hit. Playing it.
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last forever. Living a life of pleasure, visions of treasure, living for the
Right.
now and when we done.
So you should be able to hear the difference. Bam. Next, I have a short delay. And my short delay is Reverb, a hall delay, medium, shape it up, 100% wet. Then it's the same thing, EQing, yeah, but I'm cutting different frequencies, cutting everything below 133 and everything above 6.8. Wham, wham. DS, then compress, and it's the short delay. So I'm sending 30, and that
I
sounds
can
like
make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't
normal.
care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last forever. Living a life of
Right. Following that, I put a long reverb. So you have a short reverb and then you have a longer one, which gives it like a tail. The longer one, if you look, it's tucked way more than the short one. So the short delay is kind of up front and the long delay is about twice or two and a little bit times the spacing in the background. So the long delay, again, D-verb, but it's a church, a large church, shape it up, bam bam bam, 100% wet. EQing, again, everything below 471 I've cut that, everything above 680 I've cut that. So this reverb, again, it's shaped to be a certain sound in a certain part of the song. Something else, if you look on my effects channels, the plate reverb 81 left and right, short reverb 86, long reverb 89, delay, short delay 95, long delay 97, and then the chorus is all the way at 100. But I'm just putting the effects in different parts, blah 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 blah. Right? So after EQing, you DS, same thing, shape it up. It's not all the same. If you look on the settings, I'm using the same, probably the same instance of the plugin. That's why I probably have the different instances, because on the different instances I'm using different amounts of the effect for different outcomes. Then AVOX, bam, and when you play it,
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that gon'
in a sense, when I'm looking at it, it's like I record the vocal have all these little different stuff going on. VU meter levels out input, make sure you're not clipping, blah 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 blah, but you should have done all of this from the point where you're setting the input to record. I then bring the vocal forward with all these little different, tune the vocal, nectar, then channel strip, sidechain, and then you have a send, which is a sidechain send. The purpose of it is to sidechain to basically give you a more beefy double of the lead. You then bring it back together, blend it together. When you then blend it together, if you're listening to all the reverb and all of that, it's thinning out certain bits. So the sound is good. Now let's add the little, I don't even know what you want to call it, but when you're listening,
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect.
the first delay with the reverbs, bam, it's right. So that is the majority of the sends. The last one is this chorus effect. So on my chorus, mod delay, chorus, 8% FBK, feedback, blah blah blah. Wet, wet. So basically, I didn't really do too much in here. I just selected chorus, da 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 da. We could have used a whole bunch of other stuff. EQ, bam, bam, full curves. We're not dipping. These I didn't really do too much. I let them stay out there. DS, compress. Right. So now we have, okay.
I can make it better if I last forever. You just call me perfect, perfect. I don't want you to need me, and I don't care what you say, and I don't want you to want me neither. But you know, gotta have a special time to get something that's gonna last forever. Living a life of pleasure, visions of treasure, living for the now, and when we done, still
Back in vocals.
still ain't found a way to stop, still out here trying to hit the top, and now I live 1,000 miles away because a love like yours just won't go away. And I don't care what they say, one way or other, I'ma get this cake. I can make it better, I can make it better. Now watch how I make this last forever. I can make it better if I last forever. You just
Right. So basically a lead and a backing where you're doing the stabs or the punches or whatever you want to call it. The chorus, if you look, processing, but what you might find is certain bits is different. Where this one was 10, we're doing 12, we're doing 8. So basically that's what it is. We're changing up stuff. Right?
now more than she want, because she know that I'm a superstar. She gon' tell me when her boyfriend is gone. She gon' give me the keys to the car. She said, Crooks, she gon' treat me like a lady. Night you've been dreaming of. The only one. She say now more than she want, because she
Lead,
know that I'm a
chorus,
superstar. She gon'
backing, so the lead chorus with all its effects and is up the middle. You then have the backing, which is like a double, but a thinner double, and it has auto pan, so it's going from left to right, left to right. Yeah. So that is this. It's doing that. Right? Now, the harmony version, I have vocal bend on it. Yeah. And I'm doing like a chipmunk cut. So it's like an undertone, a top tone, but it gives it an effect. Now this little bit, spice. It's a chipmunk effect. So all together you have.
I'm more than she want, because she know that I'm a superstar. She gon' tell me when her boyfriend is gone. She gon' give me the keys to the car. She said, Crooks, she gon' treat me like a lady. I said, you won't believe the lady you become. Today's the night you've been dreaming of. Now realize.
Now, what I'm doing here is all of the vocal now, plus the lead vocal bus, the lead vocal bus and the backing vocal bus, which is all the extra stuff with the sends. All of those are now getting sent to a vocal comp bus, which I have tape, then I have, so if I bypass, and bypass, playback.
She saying I'm more than she want, because she know that I'm a superstar. She gon' tell me
Tape.
when her boyfriend is gone. She gon' give me the keys to the car. She said, Crooks, you gon' treat me like a lady. I said, you won't
and then come.
You've been dreaming of, now realize that you weren't the only one. She's saying I'm more that you want.
So she's saying. It's out now on all streaming platforms.